Today's lectures. So PPTs are visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yesterday we have learned. Uh, so I show you what we have learned. So we have seen our syllabus. We have discussed our syllabus, the textbooks and reference books for object-oriented programming subjects. Okay, and then we have learned uh, introduction and importance of this subject. Okay, and particularly the importance question may ask what is object oriented. Different object oriented programming languages. What is procedure oriented and object oriented programming languages, or procedure oriented and object oriented? So that we have already studied in extra lectures. Okay, so initially we have seen what is language, then what is programming language. Okay, so we have seen for communication to machine or computer we require a programming language, and there are number of programming languages: C, C++, Java, Python. Okay, so that we have seen, and then this object oriented is nothing but it is a programming approach, one of the programming approach, or it is a programming technique for writing a program. Okay, so different way we can write a program, and object oriented, that is one of the way. Okay, procedure oriented and object oriented, these are the two different approaches for program writing. Okay, so that we have already studied. Okay, when we write program in C, then we follow procedure oriented approach. When we write program in Java, then we follow object oriented programming approach. And when we write program in C++, then we can follow procedure oriented as well as object oriented programming approach. Okay, and from this we can say C is procedure oriented programming language, Java is object oriented programming language, and C++ is both procedure oriented as well as object oriented programming language. Because C program we can write in procedure oriented style, or we can write it in object oriented style. Okay, so that's why C++ is both procedure oriented and object oriented programming language. That we already seen, and we have seen what is procedure oriented programming approach. So sequence of statement computer follow. So example, what is object oriented programming? So it deals with the classes and object. Okay, so we have seen, we will see what is class, what is object, and in this object oriented programming we organize a program as a collection of objects that work concurrently together to produce software or to produce a program. Okay, so we have seen this example. This is a C++ and Java example, and then here we have seen different programming languages, procedure oriented programming languages, and these are the object oriented programming languages. When we want to write a program using C++, Java, Python, then we require to follow object oriented programming approach. And we have seen this is for this is needed for knowledge. Okay, who develops C, C++, Java, JavaScript, Ruby, Python. So we must know who is the inventor of the different languages. Okay, that we have seen, and we have seen Java, that is more demanding programming language by IT industries. Okay, and we have seen the popularity of this Java in 2009 or 2019. Okay, then number of variety of domain this Java can work: web development, Android application development, enterprise application development, big data. Okay, so for this purpose we can use Java also. Okay, why object oriented programming approach was developed? Because of three reasons. So to overcome limitation in the procedure oriented programming approach, and this object-oriented programming have best programming concept and powerful features. And third, that is, these OOPs have number of advantages that we have seen one by one. So this is the limitations. Functions have unrestricted access to global data. Okay, so we declare data globally in procedure-oriented programming, and any function in a program that have access to that data. That's why there is no restriction. Okay, there is a security problem in procedure-oriented programming. Okay, and they provide poor mapping to real-world entities. So object-oriented approach that provide a very strong mapping with real-world entities. Okay, so we will see the what is object, what is class, and how that map with the real-world entities. Okay, so these are other problems that we already discussed, and then we have seen this features of object-oriented programming. So more importance given to data, and here data is hidden. That means security provided. Okay, so object-oriented approach that will provide the security to data. Okay, then any changes made, then we can easily add new functions, or we can easily add data in the program. So, and this is object-oriented approach follow bottom-up approach in program design, and these are the number of benefits of object-oriented programming approach: faster development of software, adapt to changing requirement, reusability, easier to maintain, and increase software quality that we have already seen. Now, in today's lectures, we will learn various OOPS concepts and features. Okay, so the principle of object-oriented programming languages. Okay, so this object-oriented programming language that follows certain principle. Okay, and this object-oriented programming languages has a powerful new concept and different best programming features. So you can see on your PPT different object-oriented programming concept and features. So classes, objects, these are the different concept of this object-oriented programming language. And then encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, these are the features of this object-oriented programming languages. Okay, so language that have these features and concept, then we can say that language is called object-oriented programming language. Okay, see, do not have these features. Okay, see, we will not use this classes and object, and there is no data security. We will not use this encapsulation, abstraction, all this concept in C. So that's why C is not an object-oriented programming language. But in C++, Java, Python, .NET, so there is a concept of classes and object, and these are the features we can apply in that language. So that's why that language is called object-oriented programming language. And all these features, these are the pillars of object-oriented programming language. Okay, so you can observe in figure. So the pillars of this building. So without these pillars, so your building will collapse. So similarly, if you do not know the concept and features of object-oriented programming language, so not possible to write any program. Okay, or it is not possible without knowing the concept and features of object-oriented programming to develop any software. Okay, so that's why these concepts and features, it is necessary to understand. Okay, before going to start programming in C++, Java, or Python, so you must know the concept and the features of that language. Okay, if you want to start programming in C++, Java, or Python, then you must understand the concept and feature of OOPS, as these languages are object-oriented programming languages. Okay, so we will see one by one the concept and the features. Okay, so classes and object, these are the concept, object-oriented programming concept, and encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism, these are the different features of this object-oriented programming languages. Okay, now first of all we will see what is class. Okay, so here we will see what is class and how we can represent this class graphically. Okay, so you observe this. I have written here teacher, animal, furniture, vehicle. Okay, so these are the classes. We can say teacher, animal, furniture, vehicle. These are the classes, and I have written some faculty names: Professor Miss K.P. Chable Madam, Professor Miss P.V. Deshmukh Madam, Professor N.S. Thakare Sir. So any teacher name. So that is the specific. Okay. So teacher, that is not the specific thing. Okay. But the Professor Miss K.P. Chable or Miss P.V. Deshmukh. So these are the specific things. Okay. Similarly here, animal, that is not the specific things. That is the abstract things. So we can say teacher, animal, furniture, vehicle. So these are the abstract things. Okay. So these are not the specific thing, but dog, cat, cow, or chair, table, blackboard. Okay. So all these are the specific things. Okay. Now the abstract things are called classes. We can say abstract things are called classes, and specific thing that is called object. Okay. So suppose I ask you, here you can read this question. So I want to ask you the question: chair, table, blackboard belong to which class? Okay. So that belongs to furniture class. Okay, we can say it belongs to furniture class. Similarly here, dog, cat, cow belongs to which class? So dog, cat, cow, tiger, this belongs to animal class. So we cannot say it belongs to vehicle class. Okay. So because these are of similar types. Okay. So uh, from this PPT we can say abstract things are called classes and specific or concrete things are called object. Okay. So I think you understand this is a classes. Here particularly we will learn here classes. So abstract things are called classes. Suppose I ask you call to teachers, then you will confuse which teacher. Teacher is there, but something is hidden and you do not guess. Okay. Similarly, suppose I ask show me animal. So again you will confuse which animal. There are number of animals present on the earth. Okay. So again you will confuse, and they do not have any physical existence. So teachers, animal and furniture, they do not have any existence. So we can say classes are logical in nature and they do not have any existence. Okay. For example, furniture do not have any existence, but chair, table do have existence. Okay. Apple, mango, banana. So they have physical existence. We can suppose I want to tell you bring banana, so you will bring the only banana, you will not bring apple, or you will not bring the cat. Okay. So because they have some physical existence. Okay. So that's why the uh, but class do not have any physical existence. Class do not have any physical existence. Okay. So the classes are logical in nature and they do not have any existence. Okay. But the objects have some physical existence. Okay. Objects have some physical existence. Okay. So class is description of similar type of objects. Okay. Here we can see the example. The furniture, we can say chair, table, blackboard. So chair, table, blackboard, these are of type similar type. Okay. So animal, dog, cat, cow. So these are the similar type. Dog, cat, cow. These are the similar type of uh, similar type of objects. We can say of type animals. Okay. So we cannot say tiger is a furniture. So that's why class is a description of similar type of object. Okay, class is a description of similar type of objects. So you can give any definitions. There are number of definitions. So abstract things are called class. Also, we can say class are logical in nature and they do not have any existence. Class is a description of similar type of objects. So you can give this example also. Also, some other definition. A class can also define as the blueprint for object, or class serve as a template for object. Okay. So here template for object, that means once we define a class, then we can create any number of object of that class. Okay. Or class is a blueprint of an object. Okay. So before constructing new building, you already know architecture will make the blueprint of that construction, and once a blueprint is made, then it is possible to construct number of similar building in the different cities or in the same cities. Okay. So that is called template, or that is called a blueprint. Once we make a blueprint, then we can create similar type of object of that blueprints. Okay. So class is also defined as a blueprint of an object, or class serve as a template for an object. So that is also one of the definition. Also, we can say a class is defined as a user defined data type. Class is defined as a user defined data type. We have already studied predefined data types: integer, float, character. These are the predefined data types or built-in data types. Okay. So for example, suppose integer a, b, c. So a, b, c, these are of type integer, we can say. Okay. Similarly, here I write a class name fruit. Okay. Sorry, there is no comma here. So fruit, animal, shape, these are the classes. Okay. And I have written here fruit, mango, orange, and apple. So mango, orange, apple are of type fruits. Okay. And these are fruits is a user defined data type. And once we uh, declare a class, or once we declare this fruit, then we can create any number of object of that type. Okay. So same as uh, user defined data types, we can create, same as predefined data types, we can create a user defined data types variable. Okay. We write class name and we write the object name separated by comma. Okay. So class is a user defined data types, we can also say. Also, class contains two things, that is data members and methods. Class contains data member and methods, or declaration of variables and methods. Okay. Once class is defined, then we can create any number of object of that class. Okay. So here we have seen fruit is a class. Once we declare a class, then we can create any number of object of that class type. Okay. So these are some of the definitions of these classes, and we will see the graphical notation of class, how the class is represented graphically. So there is a box with three compartments. Okay. So first compartment, that is called name compartment. Okay. So and this name compartment, that is mandatory. Okay. And then second compartment, that is attribute compartment, and that attribute compartment is optional. Third compartment, that is operation compartments, that is called operation also method or functions. Okay. So that is similar thing. So third compartment, that is operation compartment, that is also optional. Therefore, the minimal notation for this class is only a single box. That is because name compartment, that is mandatory. Okay. And other compartments are optional. Okay. So we will see, this is the example of class. So name compartment, bank account, that is the name of the class. Okay. We write in first compartment the name of class, and I written here bank account. So bank account, that is the abstract thing. Okay. I not tell here my bank account or Sachin's bank account. That is a specific thing. Okay. Specific things are called object, but bank account, that is not a specific thing, that is the abstract thing. So that is called class. Okay. So we write the class name in first compartment, and then in second compartment we will write the attribute. Second compartment is attribute compartment, and the syntax we can observe here the attribute name, then colon, and here we can write type of that attribute. Okay, so account number, that is of type string. Okay, also we can write the owner, account owner name. Okay, so that is also of type string. Also balance is also the attributes of this bank account, and we declare their types, and we can also assign value to this attributes also. Okay, so these are the attributes compartment, and I have written here account number, owner, and balance. These are the attributes of this bank account class. Okay, similarly here operations. So third compartment, that is the operation compartment, and we can specify here the methods or functions, and the syntax given in this is the operation that we can perform on bank account or deposit, withdraw, get owner, get balance. Okay, and syntax that is specified. Okay, so here you can observe here the some minus and plus sign. What are that? So that are nothing but the visibility adornments. Okay, so visibility adornment means that highlights the important feature and increase the clarity and readability of that element. Okay, so here minus means private and plus means public. We can use also one more visibility adornment, that is hash, that is for protected. Okay, that if we if we show this notation, visibility adornment notation in the diagram, so that is more readable diagram. Okay, that will highlight the important features, and that will increase clarity and readability of this diagram. Okay, so minus for private, plus for public, and hash for protected. That is called adornments. Okay, so why it is called visibility adornments? Just like that highlights the important features. Okay, so generally girls will wear some adornments to highlight their features. They wear some in their ear, or okay, so that will highlight the features of that. Okay, so this is called uh, also called graphical notation of class. Okay, and here the notations for this we write the class name in upper camel case. Okay, so naming convention, so class name that is written in upper camel case. Okay, remember here. So when uh, bank account upper camel case means, so the class name, it may be a combination of two or more word. Okay, and each first character of each word, that should be capital. That is called upper camel case. Okay, here I have written bank account. So bank B is capital, account A is capital. Okay, so that is called upper camel case. Okay, so we are writing class name in upper camel case. Okay, and then attribute, that is in lower camel case. We are writing the attributes and operations or methods in lower camel case. Okay, lower camel case means the first character of first word is lower case. Okay, and following word first letter is capital. Just like account number I have written here, so that is called lower camel case. Okay, so upper camel case and lower camel case. So we use upper camel case for writing class name, and lower camel case for attributes and operations. So now we will see the next concept, that is object. Okay, so what is object? So object, it is a real world entity. So we look around, we are surrounded with number of objects. Okay, so we have fan, we can see this light, tube light. Okay, so table, chair, all these are the whatever we see, that is called object. Okay, so we already seen this object, that is a specific or concrete thing. The object have physical existence. We can touch to this object. Okay, so that's why it is called specific or concrete thing, that is called object. It is a real world entity and it is a specific or concrete thing. Okay, so also we can say it is a discrete and distinguishable entity with well defined boundary that encapsulates state and behavior. Okay, it is a distinguishable entity. Okay, so it is a distinguishable entity because each object have its own name. Okay, so fan, light, table, chair. That's why it is a distinguishable entity and that have well-defined boundary that encapsulates state and behavior. Okay, so these attributes and behavior that will encapsulated in a class we encapsulate. That's why it is called. It has a boundary. Okay, so you can see this diagram. So these are the attributes of this two-wheeler. So maker, model, color, year, price, and we can perform operations on this data. So by using this data, so we can start the vehicle, we can drive the vehicles, we can park the vehicle. So these are the operations that we can perform on this vehicle. Okay. Similarly here, dog have attributes. So breed, color, height, weight, year of birth. Okay, and the operation this dog can perform. So they can eat, they can sleep. Okay, so these are the operations. So it is a distinguishable and discrete entity that has a well-defined boundary that encapsulate state and behavior. State is nothing but the attributes and behavior nothing but the operation. Okay, so here we have seen three definitions of this class. It is a real world entity, it is a specific or concrete things, it is a discrete and distinguishable entity that have a well-defined boundary that encapsulates state and behavior. Okay, so also we can say it is a runtime entity. Object is a runtime entity. We have seen this program. This is a C++ program or Java program, and we have already seen this object. It is of type class. Here is a student is a class, and in this main program we have created variable of type student s1 and s2, and that s1 and s2 that is nothing but called object. It is of type class students, so it is also called object. And we are accessing the attributes and operations defined in this class through this object. You can see s1 dot s1 dot s2 dot s2 dot. Okay, so this operation read and display that is defined inside class. So whatever inside the class that we are accessing through this object, that is a variable of type class. Okay, and this object that is the runtime entity in object oriented program. Okay, so it is a variable of type class. How did it told? It is a variable of type class. Okay, object is a variable of type class, and just like we create variable of type integer, similarly we can create variables of type class called object. Okay, so object is an instance of class. Okay, so general this is the common definition. So what is object? Object is an instance of a class. Object is a instance of a class. Okay, so you can see this animal, so cat and horse. So this animal, that is a collection of similar type of object. Class is a collection of similar type of object, and the individual this is called object. That is cat, that is object one. Horse, that is object two. Dog, that is object two, and then horse, that is object three. So cat is an instance of class. Animal we can say, and each object is an instance of class. Okay, so and each object, it will take its own space in memory. Once we create an object, okay, so it will take a space in memory. Okay, for example, suppose we have created, suppose object one, Okay. So this object, it is of type, suppose I have taken here the example of, I think, dog. Okay. So we consider uh, dog1 and dog2. These are the object of dog class. Okay. I have written dog and then space, then dog1 and dog2. So dog1 and dog2 have these attributes. Both have these attributes. So these two objects are different, that is of similar type but different. Okay. So dog1 have the breed attributes and their value. Height have, also dog also have height, their value, and also have weight. Similarly, another dog have their breed, their height, and their, so all this attribute that will be stored in a memory, and it will take its own space. Okay, every object will take its own space in memory. Okay, so the characteristics of object. Okay, we have seen different definitions of object. So object, it is a real world entity, it is a specific or concrete thing, it is a discrete and distinguishable entity, it has boundary that encapsulates state and behavior. Then we have seen it is a runtime entity in object oriented program, it is a variable of type class. Okay. Also we have seen it is an instance of class, object is an instance of a class. Okay, that we have seen. And then we have seen each object, it will take its own space in memory. Okay. Now the characteristics of object. Okay. So objects have uh, the three characteristics. All objects have three characteristics, that is identity, state, and behavior. Okay. So what is identity? So identity means every object have its own name. Each object have its own name, and this property that will distinguish the object from one another. Okay. So we can say this is bottle, this is stapler. Okay. So these are the objects, and because of their name, they are distinguished from each other. Okay. So that is called identity, and each objects have their own name or unique name, and that's why we are distinguishing the one object from another object. Okay. Also object have state. So this is the actual value stored in object at any point in time. Okay. So what is the state? How we can find the state of an object? Okay. By we find the state of object by its attribute value. Okay. How we can find the state of an object? by by its attribute value. Here I have taken this example, that is the bank account, and bank account have attributes, suppose balance. Okay. Bank account have different attributes. We have already seen class diagram. So class have owner, account number, balance. So we consider here the balance attributes. Okay. And we will say, suppose if balance is negative, then what is the state of that object? The state of that object is overdrawn. Okay, you have withdrawn more money than the balance. Okay, so your account will be gone into the overdrawn state. So the state of that account is overdrawn. Similarly, if balance is zero, then what is the state of that account? So state of that account is empty state. Okay, it will be in empty state. If balance is positive, then we can say state of that account is in credit. Okay, so that account have some money. Okay, so that is called, in this way we can find the state of an object by their attributes values. And this attribute values, they may change over time. Okay, so then third property of these objects have behavior. Behavior, that is nothing but the operation that can be performed on that attributes, or then object can perform operation, the object can perform, that is called behavior, that is called methods, that is called function. So for example, suppose there is a bank object and account object. and bank object send message withdraw 150 rupees. Okay. Then account object respond withdraw operation and decrease account balance by 150 rupees. Okay. So the objects are interact with each other by sending messages. That is the here I want to say. Okay. So withdraw, that is the operations. So one object will send that withdraw uh, message or withdraw operation to another object. So another object will respond to that operations, withdraw operations. So he will reduce the 150 amount from that account. Okay. So here the objects are interact with each other by sending messages or by sending the operations. Okay. So behavior is nothing but the set of operation that an object can perform. So these are the three characteristics of objects. Objects have identity, objects have state, and objects also have behavior. Okay. Now here examples, some examples. Suppose this is a car is an object. Okay. So attributes of this objects, that is car have name, car company name, owner. Okay. Car owner, car have some number, color, tank capacity, sitting capacity, mileage. So these are the attributes of an object, car. Okay. And attributes have some value. Okay. So name is Honda City, company is Honda, car owner name. Okay. Car number, uh, color is white. Okay. Tank capacity suppose 35 liters. Sitting capacity is 5 person can sit. Okay. So these are the value of that attributes. Okay. So objects have attributes and attributes have their value. Also objects have behavior. So car can start the car, stop the car, change the speed, then accelerate, perform this accelerate operations. Okay. So these are the behavior or operation that we can perform on that car. Okay. Or that object. Okay. And state of object, it may be car may be a moving state, car may be in stop state. Okay. So these are the state of the objects. Okay. So that is example. Another examples here written here bank account. Okay. My bank account. Bank account is the class. Okay. That is the bank account. That is the abstract thing. But when I say my account, your account, or Sachin's account, that is specific. Okay. So my bank account, that is specific. That's why it is called object. Okay. And this my bank account have attributes: owner name, account number, date of opening, current balance. Okay. And these attributes have some value. Okay. And uh, we can perform withdraw or deposit operations on this objects, and the state, it may be a in credit, or it may be a empty state, or it may be a overdrawn state. Okay. So account may be in any of these states. Okay. Another example here, third example, I think what is the name of that uh, heroine? So this heroine have a Deepika. Correct. So Deepika name, birth date, address, education. These are the attributes, and attributes have value: Deepika, date of birth, and then address, and their education is suppose MBA, and the operations that can perform on this. Say they can speak, they can walk, they can run, they can dance. Okay. And state, he may be in talking state, he may be a walking state, running state, and dancing state. Okay. So these are the examples. The objects, all objects have identity, state, and behavior. Okay. And these are the three examples I have taken here. And I already told this objects are interact with each other by sending messages. Okay. Bank object and account object. So bank object send message withdraw 150 rupees, and account object respond withdraw operation and decrease account balance by 150 rupees. Okay. So this object interact with each other by sending messages. That is the point here. Now graphical notations of this object. How we can represent object graphically. We have seen the graphical notation of class. box with 3 compartment, that is for class. Now here object box with 2 compartment, that is the name compartment and attribute compartment. The first compartment is name compartment and second compartment, that is the attribute compartment. So this name compartment, that is mandatory, attribute compartment, that is optional. Okay, so only 2 compartment this object have. Object do not have this operation compartment, only name compartment and attribute compartment. Name compartment is mandatory and attribute compartment, that is optional. Okay, so here in first compartment we will write the object identifier. We will write the name of object and it is always underlined. Okay, how we can identify this is a class or object if the identifier is underlined, then we can say it is an object. Okay, from this we can identify it is class or object. If it is not underlined, then we can say it is a class. If it is underlined, then we can say it is an object. So object identifier, it is always underlined. An object identifier can consist of any of the following. Okay, so we can write this object in this way. We can write only class name alone. We can write class name alone. Okay, so here I have written account or bank account. Okay, that is the abstract thing. I have written only class. So here I have not specified the object name. I have not specified here my bank account or my account or Sachin's account. Okay, that is specific. So here only class name I have specified. So in this way we can write the class name colon then class name and that is underline. Okay, in this way we can represent the object. Also second way, object name alone. We can write only the object name. Okay, I have specified here Sachin account. Okay, so sorry, that should be underline. Okay, so it is compulsory. So Sachin account, that is the specific thing. Okay, so we can write only the object name. Okay, now third way we can write object name concatenated with class name. We can write both. Okay, sorry, here mistake, both should be underlined. Okay, so Sachin account, that is the object name, and account, that is the class name. Okay, and that is separated by colon. So in this way we can specify the object in 3 different ways. Okay, I already told this name compartment is mandatory and the attribute compartment is optional, and this is the minimal notations for this object, same as classes. Only how we can identify it is a class or object. So you remember the object that is always underlined. Okay, and class is not underlined. And here for specifying the class, we can use class name alone, we can use object name alone, or we can use object name that concatenate with class name. Okay, so in this way we can represent the object. And these notations are very important when you design a very big projects. Then the documentation is very important. Okay, so your team lead will provide you the documents, and from that document you require to implement the software. Okay, so in this way we can represent object graphically. So this is the example graphical notations of objects. So this is the general syntax, and this is the example. Okay, so I have written here in first compartment, that is the object identifier. So object identifier, object name and class name, both I have used here, and that is underlined, that's why it is called object. Okay, so in attribute compartment, so same syntax, you can write account number, then specify the type of that variable, and we can also assign value to that variables. Okay, similarly owner of text string, and we can assign attributes value. Okay, so balance. So this is the example. Another. Okay. So similarly here, instead of this object name concatenated with class name, here only use object, here only use account. Okay. So naming conventions. So here object and attribute name is in lower camel case. Okay. So class name we are writing in upper camel case, but here object name and attributes name we are writing in lower camel case. Okay. So that is the important things when you want to identify a class or objects. Okay. So this is about object. So we have learned about classes and objects. So anybody have any doubt regarding this classes and objects? Okay. We have seen the number of definitions, and generally this will ask in interviews generally what is class, what is, because one of the part is object oriented. Okay, in interview. So that is the part of interview, object oriented programming, and generally start from basic. Okay, so may ask what is class, what is object, and for implementation purpose, these graphical notations are important, because your team lead or your head will provide you the documents, and that document contains this notations, and from that you require to implement this. Okay, so any difficulty or any doubt? Anybody have?
No, sir.
Okay, okay.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
Hello. Okay. So next, we have seen the classes and object. These are the very important concept of object-oriented programming. Now we will move toward the encapsulation. What is this encapsulation? Okay. So I think time is over. 3:35. So we will learn in the next tomorrow's lectures this the remaining features of this object-oriented programming. Okay. So we stop here our today's lectures, and tomorrow we will learn the different features of this object-oriented programming, that is encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. Okay. Thank you.